always loved exploring old mansions with my friend Mark. We were both history buffs and thrill seekers, always looking for a new adventure. That's why we decided to visit the 200 Mansion, a notorious place that was rumored to be haunted by the ghosts of its former owners. The 200 Mansion was built in the late 19th century by a wealthy businessman named Andrew. He had a large family of 12 children and a wife who all lived in the mansion. However, tragedy struck when a fire broke out in the mansion one night, killing everyone inside except for Andrew, who escaped with severe burns. He was accused of setting the fire himself, but he denied it and claimed that it was the work of an evil spirit that haunted the mansion. He was arrested and sent to a mental asylum, where he died a few years later. Since then, the mansion was abandoned and became a source of fear and curiosity for the locals. Many stories circulated about the strange noises, lights, and apparitions that were seen in the mansion. Some people even claimed that they heard the screams of the children and the wife, begging for help. Raju and I were fascinated by these stories, and we wanted to see for ourselves if they were true. We arrived at the mansion on a cold and foggy night. The mansion looked eerie and imposing, with its dark windows and crumbling walls. We had brought a flashlight, a camera, and a recorder to document our exploration. We entered the mansion through a broken door and stepped into a large hall. The hall was dusty and cobwebbed, with portraits of the family hanging on the walls. We felt a chill in the air and a sense of dread. "Wow, this place is creepy," Mark said, shining his flashlight around. "Yeah, but also fascinating," I said, taking out my camera. "Let's see what we can find." We decided to split up and explore different parts of the mansion. Mark went upstairs while I went downstairs. We agreed to meet back in the hall in an hour. I walked down a corridor looking for anything interesting. I came across a door that was slightly ajar and pushed it open. It was a library filled with books and papers. I entered the library hoping to find some clues about the history of the mansion. I browsed through the shelves, picking up some books and reading their titles. They were mostly about business, politics, and religion. Nothing too exciting. I then noticed a desk in the corner of the room with a lamp and a diary on it. I walked over to the desk and opened the diary. It was Andrew's diary, and it had entries dating back to the day he moved into the mansion. I flipped through the pages, reading some of the entries. They were mostly about his business dealings, his family, and his social life. Nothing too unusual. But then I came across an entry that caught my eye. It was dated the day before the fire. It read, "I don't know what is happening to me. I feel like I am losing my mind. Ever since we moved into this mansion, I've been having nightmares. Nightmares of a dark figure that lurks in the shadows, whispering evil things in my ear. He tells me to do terrible things, things that I would never do. He says that he is the master of this mansion, and that I must obey him. He says that he will give me wealth and power if I sacrifice my family to him. He says that he is the devil and that he wants their souls. I try to ignore him, but he won't leave me alone. He follows me everywhere, even in the daytime. He taunts me, torments me, and tempts me. He says that he knows my secrets, my sins, and my desires. He says that he can make them all come true if I do what he says. He says that he can make me happy if I make him happy. I don't know what to do. I love my family and I don't want to hurt them, but I also want to be happy and I don't want to suffer. I don't know what is real and what is not. I don't know who to trust and who to fear. I don't know if I can resist him or if I should give in to him. I don't know if I can escape him or if I am already his." I felt a shiver run down my spine as I read the last sentence. I closed the diary and looked around the room. I suddenly felt a presence behind me, a cold and sinister presence. I turned around and saw a dark figure standing in the shadows. He had red eyes, horns, and a wicked smile. He was the devil, and he was looking at me. "Hello, my friend," he said in a low and raspy voice. "I've been waiting for you." I screamed and dropped the diary. I ran out of the library and slammed the door behind me. I ran down the corridor looking for a way out. I had to get out of this mansion and find Raju. I had to warn him and get help. I had to escape the devil before he got me. But as I ran, I realized that I was not alone. I heard footsteps behind me, following me. I heard his voice laughing at me. "You can't run from me, my friend," he said. "You can't hide from me. You can't escape me. You are mine, and I am yours. We are meant to be together, forever." I reached the end of the corridor and saw a door. I opened it and ran outside. I was in the backyard of the mansion, where there was a garden and a fountain. I looked for a gate or a fence or anything that could lead me to the road. But there was nothing. There was only the mansion and the fog. I was trapped. I turned around and saw him. He was standing in front of the door, blocking my way back. He was holding a torch and a knife. He was smiling and he was coming towards me. "Please leave me alone," I begged. "Please don't hurt me. Please go away." He shook his head and said, "No, my friend. I can't do that. I can't let you go. I can't let you live. I have to kill you. I have to take your soul. I have to make you mine." He reached me and grabbed me by the neck. He lifted me up and held me in front of his face. He looked into my eyes and said, "Don't be afraid, my friend. Don't be sad. Don't be angry. Be happy. Be glad. Be grateful. You are about to join your family. You are about to join me. You are about to join the 200 mansion." He stabbed me in the chest, and I felt a sharp pain. He twisted the knife, and I felt a warm blood. He kissed me on the forehead, and I felt a cold breath. He whispered in my ear, and I heard a final word. "Welcome." He let go of me, and I fell to the ground. I saw his face fading away. I saw the mansion burning down. I saw the sky turning black. I saw nothing, and I felt nothing. I was dead. My name is William, and I am a paranormal investigator. I have always been fascinated by the supernatural, and I have visited many haunted places around the world. But nothing prepared me for what I experienced in the old mansion on the hill. The mansion was rumored to be the site of a gruesome murder-suicide. A wealthy couple and their 2 children lived there, until one night the husband went insane and killed his wife and kids, then hanged himself. Ever since then, people have reported hearing screams, footsteps, and laughter from the mansion. Some have even claimed to see the ghosts of the family. I decided to check it out for myself. I brought my camera, recorder, and flashlight and entered the mansion at midnight. The place was dark and silent, except for the occasional thunder and lightning. I walked around the rooms looking for any signs of paranormal activity. I didn't find anything until I reached the master bedroom. There, I saw a horrifying sight. On the bed, there were 4 skeletons dressed in rotting clothes. They looked like they had been there for decades. I felt a cold sweat on my forehead. I took out my camera and snapped a picture. As soon as I did, the skeletons moved. They turned their heads and looked at me. They opened their mouths and screamed. I dropped my camera and ran for the door, but it was locked. I tried to break it down, but it was too strong. I heard the skeletons get off the bed and walk towards me. I turned and saw them coming closer. They had glowing red eyes and sharp teeth. They reached out their bony hands and grabbed me. I felt a surge of pain as they dug their nails into my flesh. I screamed and fought back, but it was useless. They were too strong. They dragged me to the bed and threw me on it. They surrounded me and leaned over me. They whispered in my ears, "You are our guest tonight. You will join our family. You will stay with us forever." I felt a tear roll down my cheek. I knew I was going to die. I closed my eyes and prayed for a miracle. Then I heard a loud bang. The door burst open. A beam of light shone into the room. I opened my eyes and saw a group of police officers. They had guns and flashlights. They pointed them at the skeletons and shouted, "Freeze! Don't move!"
Hi guys, thank you so much.
The skeletons
for watching.
stopped.
And if
They
you
looked
like
at the
more
officers and
please make
hissed.
sure to like and
They let go of
subscribe
me and
for
jumped
more
off the
videos.
bed.
In the next video.
They ran
Bye.
towards the officers and attacked them. I heard gunshots and screams. I saw blood and bones fly in the air. I crawled to the floor and hid under the bed. I hoped the officers would win. After a few minutes, the noise stopped. I heard footsteps and voices. I peeked out from under the bed and saw the officers. They looked shaken and wounded, but alive. They saw me and helped me up. They asked me if I was okay. I nodded and thanked them. They told me they had received an anonymous tip about the mansion, and they came to investigate. They said they were lucky to find me alive. They escorted me out of the mansion and into their car. They drove me to the hospital. They said they would burn the mansion down and destroy the skeletons. They said they would never forget what they saw. Neither would I. I survived the haunted mansion, but I was scarred for life. I gave up my career as a paranormal investigator. I never visited another haunted place again. I still have nightmares about the skeletons. Sometimes I hear their voices in my head. They say, "We miss you. Come back to us. We are waiting for you." I hope they are lying. I hope they are gone. I hope they never find me again. Raj and Priya were a young couple who loved adventure and thrill. They had heard about a haunted house in Panchali, a remote village in West Bengal, where many people had gone missing or died mysteriously. They decided to visit the house and see for themselves if the rumors were true. They reached the village by bus and asked a local for directions to the house. The man looked at them with fear and warned them not to go there. He said that the house was cursed by a witch who had lived there centuries ago. She had killed her husband and children and then hanged herself from a tree in the backyard. Her spirit still roamed the house and tormented anyone who dared to enter. Raj and Priya were not scared by the man's story. They thought it was just a superstition and a way to keep outsiders away. They thanked the man and walked towards the house. It was a dilapidated mansion with broken windows and doors. The paint was peeling off and the roof was covered with moss. A sign on the gate read, "Beware of the witch." They ignored the sign and pushed the gate open. It creaked loudly and a flock of crows flew away from the trees. They entered the house and looked around. It was dark and dusty inside. The furniture was old and rotten. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling and walls. They could hear the sound of rats scurrying in the corners. They explored the house and found nothing unusual. They saw a kitchen, a living room, a dining room, and a staircase leading to the upper floor. They decided to go upstairs and check the bedrooms. They climbed the stairs and reached the first floor. There were 4 doors on the landing. They opened the first one and saw a bedroom with a bed, a wardrobe, and a mirror. They went inside and looked around. Priya noticed a photo frame on the bedside table. She picked it up and saw a picture of a woman with long black hair and a red bindi on her forehead. She was smiling and holding 2 children in her arms. A man was standing behind her with his hand on her shoulder. They looked like a happy family. Priya showed the picture to Raj and said, "This must be the witch and her family. They don't look evil at all. I wonder what happened to them." Raj shrugged and said, "Maybe they were not the witch and her family. Maybe they were the victims of the witch. Maybe she killed them and took their place." Priya shivered and said, "Don't say that. It's creepy." She put the picture back on the table and turned to leave. As she did, she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. She screamed and dropped the picture. Raj looked at her and asked, "What's wrong?" Priya pointed at the mirror and said, Look at the mirror." Raj looked at the mirror and saw a horrifying sight. Instead of their own reflections, they saw the image of the woman in the picture. But she was not smiling anymore. She was snarling and showing her teeth. Her eyes were red and glowing. Her hair was wild and tangled. Her skin was pale and wrinkled. She looked like a witch. She spoke in a raspy voice and said, "You should not have come here. You should have listened to the warning. Now you will pay for your curiosity. You will join my family in death." She raised her hand and pointed a finger at them. A bolt of lightning shot out of her finger and hit them in the chest. They felt a jolt of pain and fell to the floor. They were dead. The witch laughed and said, "Another 2 souls for me. I will never be lonely again." She picked up the picture and kissed it. She said, "My dear husband and children, I have brought you some company. We will be together forever." She hung the picture on the wall and walked out of the room. She closed the door behind her and locked it. She went downstairs and waited for the next visitors to arrive.